moving backgrounds as well as so you got a real race going on. It look like a race.
Yeah, right. Some kind of traffic. I don't know.
That's in Europe though. That's on the wrong side of the street.
Exactly. And there's a way to like mirror, like so I can mirror the video. Do it like that.
Wow, you're getting good and high speed on that tech over there, Rich.
I'm telling you, I'm trying. And I found this one.
What is that? You in a jail cell? Hell no.
Let me show you how to do things in real estate so you land right here.
Do like me and be like me. And do what you do and be who you be. Oh, there you go. St. Louis background, a real one.
Oh, this one was like, oh yeah.
Where is that at? Florida?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. It's someplace.
That might even be overseas. I don't even know if that's America. Maybe.
That's true. Let me get out of there then.
Come back to St. Louis.
Some posh hotel, exactly. There we go.
Tell everybody you're broadcasting live from a hotel.
Heck yeah. I thought I saw participants. Oh, I think I have to close this down. There we go. Terrell is trying to get on. There we go.
So there we go. We are streaming live now on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope.
That's right. That's right. There's Terrell. How you doing, Terrell? And Kathy is there. You're on mute, folks. You're on mute.
They got to unmute themselves.
You got to unmute. I can hear you now. I make it easy. I don't want people coming in, blah, blah, blah. So I make them mute, and then you got to unmute yourself.
There we go.
How y'all doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Good to hear, good to hear. You doing good, Kathy?
Yeah, we're hanging in there.
I was going to say, where's your better half?
Oh, he's over in the kitchen. He's on his way.
Okay. Is he making you something to eat?
He's trying to get us something to eat, yes.
Oh, okay.
He's the cook around this house, you know.
So, hey, we are live. We're live actually streaming on Chris Monroe's social media platforms. Where are we streaming, Chris?
So we're streaming live right now on Twitch. We're streaming live right now on YouTube. We're streaming live right now on Periscope and Facebook and the Woke Real Estate Investing Group on Facebook. And if anybody's watching live that wants to join in on this, I did put the link in the Facebook group and I think on my page. But if you don't see the link to join in, shoot a message over to Rich or to me and I'll send you the link so you can join on into the real estate talk. What's going on, Rich?
Not much. I've actually streaming live on the Metro STL Homes YouTube as well. So we'll see how that goes.
There it is. So anybody here? I guess we'll start with Terrell. So he down there doing some good stuff. What's going on with you?
Man, doing my best, man. Like I said, ripping and running, staying busy. I'll say that much.
You working on some deals or what?
I had a few. I'm trying to line up some more. The last one I had actually did not fall through because the basement flooded, but working on another one now. So
you said the basement flooded?
The basement flooded. Yeah.
So what was that? A deal killer or what? It could make a deal
killer. As right now, it's a deal killer. So
did that make the numbers different or something? Did that ruin the numbers?
I know that buyer was not going to deal with it. So. Yeah, so with this whole brand criteria, that kind of threw off a lot. So
that seller couldn't come down off that number because of that, or what?
No, he was done with it. Once that happened, he was done. We tried that and no deal. So
what is he at? Would he owe too much on it, I guess, or something?
No, I'll say it's within. Yeah, it's up there. I said that once. I'm gonna put this information out there, but it was up there. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we don't have to get specifics. I just like to know because sometimes we think that a deal's dead and it ain't. Like a deal I just got locked up yesterday. I thought it was a dead deal. Come to find out, we've been dealing with this since like February. I thought it was dead too. Seller still wants to sell. I found a buyer that wants to buy. I put the paperwork together and we still got the deal done. You know, a lot of people give up on the deal like, oh, it's over. You just never know. As long as you got somebody who won it, it can still be a deal.
Definitely. I'll take note of that, man. Like I said, I'm still a newbie, so
that's why I don't want you to quit so early. I know you're like, oh no, it's a done deal. That one buyer ain't the only buyer. Somebody else might want it. We don't know that.
Yeah, definitely.
Would you agree with that, Rich?
Came to life yesterday. I thought it was totally dead. Came to life. I had all the paperwork done by the end of the day, and it's at the title company now. It's set to close on the 31st. So they jump back at you. Don't count them out.
I got you. Definitely.
Never assume it's dead because they come back from the dead.
Right.
Like hit them with that clear.
Oh yeah,
Bring them back to life.
definitely.
Hey, we got a lot of folks jumping on right here. We got Laura, we got Derek, we got Michael, we got Mark coming in from. Is he in the kitchen there, Kathy?
Yep, he's in the kitchen.
Yeah, I can't hear. What do I do?
You have to click on your thing and unmute the headphones.
Oh, but he can't hear. Yeah, okay. Cool.
See where your
Oh,
headphones are to the left?
What's going on,
Click
everybody?
on that.
What's up, Rich?
Not much, buddy.
Yeah.
How you been?
All over internet.
I've been all right, man. I've been all right. I got some good news.
Oh, what's that?
I reached out to a seller this past week
Yeah.
in Madison County in Illinois. So I'm trying to see what she want to do, but she's definitely interested in getting rid of the property. So now she asked me to reach back out to her next week. So I've been working on trying to find a buyer, get lined up, just in case.
What part of Madison County? Because I know we got somebody on the call here who is hot in Madison County.
Yeah. So I'm on. Man, I forgot the name of the street, but it's like Broadway and Namioki.
Namioki.
Girls across the street off of Namioki.
It's Namioki and Broadway and Madison Avenue.
Okay.
That's the only street I know over there too is Namioki.
Is that Granite or Madison?
Well, Namioki is Granite, but it's Madison Avenue. It's like it leads to Namioki all the way back to Madison.
Okay.
Yeah, small town.
So give us a little background on it. You don't have to give specifics, but how did you find that deal? How did that conversation go? Give us a little bit of insight.
Man, so being that I'm a newbie, and I've been following you guys for a while, so I literally was just driving for dollars and came across she had a for sale by owner sign in the middle of the yard. So it's crazy because I kept texting her and she wasn't texting back. So I was like, you know what, just forget this. I'm gonna call her. So to make a long story short, after starting a conversation with her and talking to her, she's an older lady. So, she's not text messaging. That's not even on her mind. So as soon as I called her, she picked up the first call. So I started, just talking to her, trying to see what was her motivation. Getting a general number from her, getting information about the property, what's wrong with it, what's going on with it. And come to find out, she, 73 years old, her husband passed away years ago. There's nothing really wrong with the house. And she's trying to move with one of her older grandsons in another part of town. So she said it's time for her to just, let it go.
So her main motivation, she don't want to keep dealing with this house.
Yes, absolutely.
That's one of my favorite pain points.
Yeah, so after talking to her, I told her that I want to try to help her, and I'm gonna do my best to try to help her with the situation. And I asked her how soon would she be willing to sell. She told me to give her a call back next week, and also she'll invite me to come look at the property and stuff. So I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens.
So do you feel like you built good rapport with her and everything? Y'all friendly and everything with conversation?
Oh yeah. Her the grandson that she's moving to lives in a city. I forgot the name of the city, but we actually used to play against their football team. So I sort of sparked up that conversation, and it went really well.
Now that's what I'm talking about. So you learned right there to take action and don't depend completely on that text message. I know a lot of people want to get on that crutch and say, I got a text. And you said, no, wait a minute, I need to call her. And you see how it made a difference there?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So that's good. Hope you get that locked up and get a deal going there. That's going to be your first one?
Yes, sir. That'll be my first one.
All right, get it done.
Help. Man, if you need any help or you have any questions about it or anything, reach out to somebody on here. I know Laura works big time over there. I'm fairly familiar with it too. If you need any help at all, let us know.
Yeah, I just checked cross street where Madison crosses Namioki. I think I have several buyers that want like good granite. I think that's good granite in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Rich too. Rich knows what to do with something like that. But yeah, so good job, Derek. Congratulations.
Absolutely, buddy.
That's right. Congrats, Derek. And guess what? You get to go do it again.
and hopefully again and again and again and again and again.
And that's the thing too to keep in mind. You know, when you're dealing with these people, you feel like, oh, I got one in the bag and this and that. Keep marketing. Don't stop doing whatever you did to get that first one. Get a bunch of them in the pipeline because for whatever reason, it may not close. It may be the deceased husband's no death certificate, or it's always something with this stuff. It's always some gotchas later on that you don't know about. So keep that pipeline full as possible. Keep marketing. Keep driving for dollars. Keep getting more deals locked up because you just don't know who's going to make it.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, I got a gotcha that might be getting me, and I wanted to ask the group if they've dealt with it before.
Drop something heavy on them.
Huh?
Drop something heavy on them.
Okay, so when sellers are selling, like let's say a lady owns a house in her own name and she's selling and she's married. I know that if like husband's name isn't on the deed, then he has to come and sign a waiver, right? A marital waiver, right? Acknowledging that, he understands it's being sold and all that. Okay, right now I've got one that's supposed to be closing and they're telling the buyers that they need to do that. Has anybody ever heard of that before?
No.
The buyers have to
The buyers have to do it.
waiver?
Yeah, because that's what's holding this up. Because to be 100% honest, I don't know if the husband is documented, to be honest.
Oh.
And so now they're not like answering my stuff. She's got a checking account here. She seemed confident. I met her. She gave me a non-refundable earnest money. And now that we're asking, can we get your husband's name and can he come to closing? We're not really getting response.
Did they want his name on the paperwork, or can it just go in her name?
Well, as far as I know, the paperwork is it's only in her name. That's the way she did it. And but they're saying they want him to sign a waiver. I'm sorry, my stuff's going off. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's not normal.
That's Illinois,
Okay.
right?
Okay,
That's
thank
Illinois?
you.
That's Illinois?
No, Missouri.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
Missouri deal.
I was thinking maybe because of Illinois marital laws or something. Maybe,
When you're selling, I know they do that all the time.
Yeah.
They always want to know you're single, you're married, and cause all this
Yeah.
problem. But buying, if worse come to worse, create an entity for it. Close it in the entity name. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good idea.
Even if you
I'm just trying to keep it simple for these people. Their English second language. They're much easier to speak with in person than on the phone and via email. But I don't want this to scare this lady off. I'm not in her business like that. I don't really,
So I don't want to ask the question online, but I'm gonna ask the question online. What title company is this giving you this problem?
Well, and to be fair to the title company, I've asked them as of this evening when I got home. I asked them, hey, are you sure this is what you need for the buyer's side? Maybe they've made a mistake and they've gotten something confused, but it's investor's title.
Ding dong.
So you think that they definitely know what they're doing. It could just be number one, just like an oversight, a mistake, and they're getting their, people jumbled in their mind or something. I don't know, so that's why I wanted to ask. I'll get a more clear answer tomorrow, I assume. The other solution is we could always change title companies, but that's kind of a hassle when it's supposed to close on Monday.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never heard them say that the only time there's a buyer holdup is when there's the LLC and they're like send over all the documents for that, the operating agreement, all of that type of stuff to have it on file. But I never heard that on a person,
Well, that's one reason I'm wondering if they're confused because before they were asking for the buyer's LLC docs, and it's an assignment. And the assignment never had an LLC, it's just got a name on it. So we pointed that out. Hey, this isn't happening that way. And then I guess that question went away because I never heard anything else about that. And then the next thing I heard was about this husband stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
and so is this the closer you're talking to there, or just one of those assistants?
It's a closer, and I've also brought on to my team an assistant for me to handle my closings. So she is experienced, but it's kind of like they're talking and I'm watching. And then I pipe up, like I piped up this evening to get clarification. Like, really, guys, do we really need this? Because it doesn't sound right to me, but they're both done working for the day, so I'll hear back tomorrow. So that's who's talking about it. And yeah.
Yeah, I never heard anything like that. What about you, Rich?
Unmute. There we go. No, I haven't. That's the craziest thing in the world. A buyer. Yeah, that's
Okay.
That's
Well,
weird.
good. Now I'm confident that we're going to get it figured out tomorrow. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, worst come to worst, you can put it in the LLC. If that don't work, you can put it into a trust. If that don't work, They need to might just switch title companies. I hate to say that. I haven't used
I'll do it
Investors
if I
Title in
have
about
to.
a year though. I stopped using them.
Right.
That was the company I used for my first 7 deals or 6 deals, and they sent me through the ringer. That's how I learned so much about all this stuff. You know, you get rung around the ringer enough times, you start knowing like, wait a minute, y'all doing too much. And right now,
Who
that's
was
what it
sending you
sounds
through
like.
the ringer? I missed it.
The company you're dealing with right now.
Okay.
I've been through
And which
9
I
title.
don't-
I've been through 9 title companies, and only 1.5 are decent, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I've been through my fair share. And the funny thing too is I didn't choose this particular company, the seller did. And the reason why we just went with it was because I had the contract written with the seller to pay all closing costs. It was the way the numbers would work. And so he's like, okay, but I want to close at Investors. I'm like, ooh, okay, great, whatever. I mean, I've closed it at Investors before. It's gone smoothly for me before as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. And they're fast. So I'm like, but then like a day and a half later, the seller comes to me and he's like, yeah, closing costs are more expensive than I thought. I can't do it. The deal has to be off. I can't do it. So I've talked him into splitting it with me because I'm getting a healthy assignment fee. So, I mean, it's not like the best, but it's worth it. I'll pay half the closing costs. So now it's like I'm working with this company. I'm paying more than I want to in closing costs. And the only reason why I ever started with them is because that's what he wanted. So
Yeah.
I'm just only telling the story that it's really not a big deal. I'm telling it for people out there who are maybe working on their first few deals. Like these are the types of things that will come up time and time and time again. And, you know, don't let it get you flustered because it's little stuff will keep happening. And it's just, I just look at it as something fun at this point. As long as I keep my deal, I'll just
Exactly.
figure it out. But there's always something, man.
Skid marks to the closing table. Nicole over here on Facebook says, sounds like they've got something mixed up. So, yeah.
That's what I'm hoping.
I've had issues with investors several times, so I've kind of stayed away from them. They just come up with some kind of strange things sometimes.
Yeah, they just got the best name, Investors Title.
Right.
I mean, I've used them, but I mean, they've sent me through the ringer on some stuff. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna find somebody else. And so I ventured out, found some bad ones, found some worse ones, and then came back and found a couple good ones.
You don't know how bad something is till you see something better, right?
Exactly.
And you don't necessarily know how good something is until you find something worse.
Exactly. You don't know how good you got it until you got it.
That's right. Absolutely. Hey, we got Robert Merrill here. What's going on, Robert? Hi.
Driving, I had to get in on the call. I heard her unfortunate episode. And you think by now, as long as real estate investing's been going on, that title companies would have it together. I mean, you hate to see do that to investors and buyers and sellers. I mean, I guess, do you add them to a blacklist? Do you go after them with Better Business Bureau? How do you avoid stuff like that? I mean, I guess Chris pretty much answered it. You find some good ones and you find some bad ones. So I guess I answered myself. So last thing I ventured into creative finance, and I've been, offering more things to potential sellers, but I still can't seem to get a bite. I've reworked text messaging up the phone call. So what strategy should I go after next? Should I absolutely go after leads? That seems to be what's hot. But I know that what's hot can change within a day or two and even hours. So what do you guys recommend?
As far as what type of niche? Like what type of seller niche?
Yes. What type of sellers should I be going after? Because everybody's not motivated, even though they're facing pre-foreclosures, which I've gone after that list aggressively, and I want to know, should I go after tax liens exclusively?
And Chris can
liens in general.
Anybody here can pipe in, but I mean, I still haven't found a hotter list than probates. I mean, I really haven't. I mean, if you wanted to focus in, granted, it might cost you more per lead, but I mean, those are the people that have to sell or need to sell usually, and a lot of times they're stuck in situations where they can't fix it up to sell out of the market. I mean, mom or dad passed unexpectedly sometimes, or They just didn't expect they were going to put $20,000-$30,000 into the house to get it to sell at the top of the market. So they would just want it off their plate. But that's just for me. I mean, that's just my opinion. Anybody else?
Yeah, you gotta I mean, all of them work. I mean, that's the real answer. But you got to keep in mind too, whenever you start dealing with pre-foreclosure, pretty much everybody and their mama talking to them people or trying to reach those people, sending them mail, sending them texts, sending them emails, knocking on the doors, all type of weird stuff. Pre-foreclosure probably get hit more than anybody else. Generally, not to say you can't find a deal there, because I have found deals there, but you know, there's other people that need your help as well. So, you know, those tax deficient or, you know, just the driving for dollars, really, that's still the strongest way, in my opinion, because, you know, even though we get mail back all the time like this, return mail, people that didn't respond or whatever, they didn't respond to the call, they didn't respond to the mail, then we still got to try to find them before, you know, however long goes by. And, you know, things like that can happen. But yeah, I would just go ahead and pick a second niche and deep dive into it and keep touching them. Keep texting them, keep calling them. And if you got to, hit them on social media. If they're not responding, you know, get somebody.
If they're not responding, you know, get somebody.
Yeah, because I mean, would you agree? Chris? That, or I'm sorry, I get a little feedback there. But yeah, I mean, probably the hottest. I mean, if you got to start mailing to it first. But if you mail and you get those return mailers, that's the hottest lead. That's literally the hottest lead. I mean, somebody walked away completely from the property, right? For some reason.
Yes.
So if you can get a hold of whoever's in charge of being able to sell that thing, that's the best part. Especially when you get those back. I mean, I'm harping back to the probate type, but you get those back with the DEC written on it. That's gold.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I got one like that right here. Say deceased. I said, damn, deceased. I ain't know that. Oh no, yeah, that's probate.
That's the gold. That's the gold.
They tell you right on the postcard, deceased. Like, damn, they dead like that? Whoa, I ain't know I was ending up a dead person. I don't want to buy a house. Why you gotta be dead? Sign it over to me before you take that dirt nap. No, I'm just messing. Y'all wrong for laughing at that. So yeah, that's what the thing is. Keep the marketing going. I mean, you know. And so you said you've been doing more text and calling, or what have you been doing to reach them, Robert?
Yeah, man, I've been texting and calling, man. I've been pulling at the stuff that y'all teach, man, and I'm not frustrated. I think, and I may be finding my groove now, because you know some people get their first eight deals in their first year. I haven't been fortunate enough to get one, but I just believe if I keep plugging away at those methods and finding a secondary niche, like y'all saying, I may have to go out to the probates as well, even though it's more work. It seems to be probates are more rewarding as far as being able to help people, from what I gather from what you guys.
Yeah, what market are you in anyway? You're muted now.
Believe it or not, I'm in the Dallas.
You're muted now.
Okay.
Oh no, you back.
Believe it or not, I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because I know Chris, you done got some deals down here, man. And I'm like, Chris getting deals from St. Louis. I'm like, okay, what the heck am I doing?
Oh yeah, Dallas, man. That Texas down there, y'all ain't playing. I'm almost gonna come make a visit next month or something. Say what's really going on down here. Y'all getting too many good deals down there. Every time I look up.
Well, when you come down here, man, hit me up, man. Maybe we need to go have coffee or something. Maybe you need to go in drill sergeant mode. I don't know, man. Because if you're getting deals from up there, I need to retool and revamp and find another way to get it done.
And the most cost efficient way is what Derek did earlier. What you're doing right now, driving. I mean, look to your left and your right. It's probably something right there. You're riding right by, and that's your deal. Just landed in your lap. Some of the best deals I've gotten came from either me or somebody on the team driving for dollars.
Heck yeah. I mean, seriously, this morning I woke up after we had some bad storms here in St. Louis last night. And everybody in my neighborhood, not except my side of the street, widespread
Is that coming off my phone thing, or is that yours?
I'm sorry. I don't know. There we go. I think it was Robert. There we go. Back there, buddy. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, so I got up this morning and was decided, you know, I'm going to drive around, play 80-year-old man mode, to drive around the neighborhood, see whose chances were down, levels are down. I was driving all through town. I came up with at least 3 properties
So it was like, okay, it's the middle of summer and those weeds are a foot high. Okay, it's the middle of summer and this place looks like crap. But guess who's getting a mailer from me? You know, that's just how I, just from getting up in the morning just to check out. That's what you got to do. It's the easiest and cheapest way, right? All you got to pay for is gas.
Exactly. And to be actually, we just recycled like 4 lists from old lists from like 6-7 months ago, and so people want to sell. I was surprised. I was like, oh, we need to start recycling lists more often, run them back through. Even if they didn't want to sell back then, they might want to sell right now. Don't just throw those lists away that you do get, where you already got their number and stuff. Touch base with them, see how you're doing, follow up. The fortunes are in the follow up, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody asked you a question. Nicole wants to ask you, Rich, what is your strategy consist for the probates? How old of the probate list do you use? Meaning how far back? And they say they have a few from late 2018.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, if you got something from 2018, what I would do probably first, it depends what your situation is. If you're a solo show, or if you got a little bit of a team, have somebody in your team do it. But first thing I would do is I would scrub the list for anything that's been already sold, because chances are, if it's that old, probably some of those have been sold to other investors who are looking for probates, right? They've probably been marketing them for a while. So check to make sure you're not like going after houses that have already been sold within, that time and now. You just don't waste your time on those. But once you've got a clean list that you realize that haven't been sold yet, to number one, so 2018, yeah, I would still market to it. I mean, you could do a couple different things, right? I mean, you could do skip tracing and get the numbers. I know a guy that offers a really inexpensive skip tracing tool. might be on this call. I don't know, but
you never know.
What is that service called?
WokeskipTracing.com.
That's right.
Yeah. So but yeah, to add to that, yeah, I would definitely say that would be good. And don't just assume that they sold, because I mean, like I say, it's been probate deals that I bought that wasn't probates, but at one time they were. Somebody might have took it down, kept it. Oh, I want to be a landlord. A year go by, they find out how hard this business is, especially when you're not trained and you don't know what the heck you're doing. And now I'm a disgruntled landlord, and now I want to sell. So still reach out to those people. Don't just assume they don't want to sell. Let them tell you no. Don't be a mind reader. Be a good question asker.
Good point. But yeah, but if it's the reverse, if you want to know like how long do you wait, hopefully she was just asking is 2018 too late, but I didn't know if she would also mean like how soon you reach out to somebody on probate, like they just filed probate yesterday. Are you sending them a letter or reaching out today? I mean, if it was filed probate, it's probably been a while since the person has been deceased, at least a little bit of time.
Yep, because I mean, it's been several deals that I look back. They wanted to be a landlord, or they wanted to deal with the house until they found out, man, this is hard work. Somebody bought this house up off me, and I'm like, oh. But they say, oh, I already got it transferred to my name back when Dad died. And I'm like, oh, so you held the house for a year or two, huh? It was a probate at one time, or it was something at one time, or something fishy. Anybody else ran across anything like that? If not, we got a question here. Michael Shear says, hey, it's Michael. I'm on the road back from Chicago, celebrating my 33rd birthday on Sunday, or I would be on the call. Glad to see everyone. Tell him to keep cold calling and texting. It works.
That's true, man. Michael's been hot. Michael
making all the money, man. I'm better go travel too. So you make a lot of money like him, you can travel. See, that's the difference. That's the freedom. When you're making so many checks, you can get out here and get some respect.
That's so true, man. So true. I'm sending out a couple invites. Sorry, somebody pinged me trying to get the invite to the meeting. So, and there's John. John's here.
There you go.
What's up, John?
John's the man, and Mickey Mouse has joined us.
That's right.
What's up, John? And Nicole had to ask you a backup question. She says she has all the info, Rich. I'm asking specifically what your strategy is. I don't know.
Yeah. So what I don't know what market Nicole's in. What I specifically would do is we go out to the St. Louis County probate site, or actually it's CaseNet, and we search St. Louis County for probate cases, and then we specifically look for deceased probates, and and then we will you in St. Louis, you can click on each individual case and it tells you who basically who the heirs are. So then and a lot of times it'll tell you the addresses of the heirs right there in the case. So we send out a letter to the heirs, and hopefully we hear back, and then we follow up. Even in probate, you need to continue to send letters if you're going to direct mail. Otherwise, you could, and it depends. Sometimes on probates, they have representation. So if the attorney's listed, you need to reach out to the attorney and talk to them and introduce yourself. And that actually gives you a really good opportunity to build a relationship with an attorney who handles probates and let them know ahead of time. Be more proactive. Look, I'm a real estate investor who buys properties. If you have any other probate cases or probate cases that might have as is sales situations, please reach out to me. I'd like to talk to them. That kind of thing. But so it depends if there's representation already there. If there's representation listed, we'll reach out to the attorney. If not, you can skip trace the heir. If you don't want to do mailers, if you would rather just call directly or text or whatever, you can always skip trace the individual heirs as well. But that's I don't know what more detail you want, but that's transparent you can get right there.
She want to know if you're left-handed or right-handed. No,
right. I mean, I thought I was getting some pretty good, so hopefully I did.
That's pretty good. That's solid. And so your first touch is always mail. You don't ever try to call them or text them first?
That's just been me. That's been me. I've been transitioning into ringless voicemail and texting as well. But I still like direct mailing. But I know it's more expensive.
So you're from the old school. Send them some mail.
Yeah, I'm old school.
Spend that money.
I've even gone old school. I'm not kidding you. I've got a campaign going right now that's yellow letter, like literally my handwritten yellow letter. And if anybody wants to know the trick, I can share that. But trust me, I'm not writing.
I know that's right. They say cold calling is harder for some. I mean, what are some ways that you all know that do cold calling? What are some good ways to kind of break that ice and get over that hump?
Anybody on here do cold calling?
Laura's a master cold caller. She said, not really.
You're muted.
Yeah, I changed my setup here. I couldn't find the button. I mean, lots of us do cold calling, but for me, it's just don't do one or two, do like 20 or 30 at a time because you get in the groove. That's for me. I kind of always have the same way I start out every call. So once I do several, I'm not nervous anymore. I know what I'm going to say. And then also you'll just start to see a pattern on the way people respond on the other end as well. But yeah, I don't cold call if I'm in a bad mood. That's one thing. Like if I feel desperate for a deal or cranky about something, I won't get on the phone because people are going to hear that through my voice. But whoever brought this up said, hey, cold calling is difficult for some. Here's what I think about all of this. Different marketing strategies, different strategies about anything. Figure out what you like to do or what you mind doing the least and focus on it, right? Because if you're going to focus a lot of time and energy into something, you don't want it to be the hardest thing necessarily because you'll wear yourself out. At least that's the way I am, right? So I've got a lot of, we have our physical energy and we have our emotional energy, and you want to kind of keep both of those in check because you want to touch as many people as you can. So I know Rich he's a very successful 9-to-5er as well as real estate. So he's very smart to do mailers, right? Takes very little time for him to reach a lot of people. Response rate for cold calling may get you a much higher response rate, but you got to put in the time and you got to have awkward conversations here and there if people don't appreciate your call. Figure out what works for your personality, I love to text. So that's the majority of what I do, although I do cold call. But I also just hired a VA to do cold calling. I've hired him before, I rehired him again. Just do a little bit of everything if you're just starting out and figure out what you enjoy the most and how you enjoy it. And I'd still do a little bit of everything, but then I would focus on the avenue that you enjoy the best or dislike the least in terms of marketing. Because some people get real nervous to get on that phone. And it takes a lot of emotional energy to make even 3 or 4 calls. And I would just caution that, first of all, it'll get better. So give it a good try. But if you still feel like that a couple months in, don't force yourself into doing something that you don't enjoy because then you're just doing stuff you don't enjoy.
Yeah, that's great tips. Laura, let me ask you this. When you're cold calling, what's the worst thing that can happen?
There's nothing you can't get over. You know, I get, especially actually texting, the responses there, they can really get at you, right? Because you can't just hang up.
Keyboard warriors.
Man, I mean, they give it to me sometimes. On the phone, if someone is absolutely irate, so the worst that's happened to me is they kind of trick me into being interested, and what they really want is they want me to feel like they're going to sue me for calling them, and I've given them information, which nothing has ever come of this. I've never received. In fact, at this point, I just still give them all my information, although it's a waste of time. But basically, the thing I hate is when someone uses my time because they're mad at me for having called them, and at the end of the call, they're like, I'm giving my lawyer your information, and you're going down, and this is illegal, and you're against the law, and you're a criminal, and screw you. And it's just like, you just hang up, and honestly, the very best thing to do at that point is to keep calling, if you can, for a few. At least don't end on that. So that's the worst that's ever happened. And again, even then, nothing beyond the call ever happened. So it doesn't scare me. It really didn't in the beginning, because I'm like, who would spend time to actually do that? I think there are people that do, but I've never dealt with it. Most people, if you watch Chris do his cold calling, which I love to do, it always makes me motivated to do some. Most people, what you see with him is people are just kind of like, it's not my house, or I'm not interested in selling, or yes. And that is what 95% or more, probably 99% of the responses you get are going to be really friendly / boring responses that don't have any negative repercussions at all. So, in fact, I get surprised now, as a matter of fact, when someone's not being friendly. So it's really not, the worst thing to do is say no.
That's right. The worst thing they can do is say no. They're not going to jump through the phone. They're not going to show up at your door. Hey, you just called me. None of that stuff.
No, they can't get you. They can't hurt you.
Anybody else have any experience on cold calling or anything worst case scenario has happened to them? So we can get this out there in the air so people who are afraid to get on that phone and see if they're home, what's the worst that can happen to them? Anybody else?
I think Laura was right. I mean, your first call is going to be your worst call. And if you're going to make as many as you can in that day, you'll find out.
Yeah.
Take your first call. Just think, okay, what could I have done better? And then next call, do the same thing. And then by the time you get 5 or 6 calls in, like Laura said, you get in a groove, you start expecting what you're going to hear back in return. And your biggest thing is you're not calling to sell, you're calling to build a relationship, right?
That's right.
And if you go for the jugular right away, it's going to be done. I don't care if they're motivated or not. I mean, they can smell it. Like Laura said, if she's in a bad mood or she's desperate for a deal, people can smell that through the phone. I used to tell everybody, people are like, they're like dogs, man. They can smell desperate.
Yeah, true. And I mean, the thing is, yeah, you're right. I mean, you don't want to go. I don't know, Laura. Do you go for the jugular as soon as you pick up a call? I mean, what do you do? I mean, you still try to build rapport, right? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in I don't want to waste people's time. So I mean, I will tell them what it's all about. I don't talk about the weather first, and I've heard people say that. Just figure out if you're talking to the right person and make small talk and see. I just say, hey, my name is Laura. I don't even know if I have the right number, but I'm looking for the owner of 123 Main Street. And then I just stop and I listen to what they have to say. So assuming I have the right person, I just say, okay, well, sorry. I just say, okay, well, hey, look, I just want you to know, my name's Laura. I buy real estate in this neighborhood. I'm looking for some more purchases. I was recently driving around the neighborhood and I came across this house. I was just curious, is this potentially for sale? And I word that very specifically. Is this potentially for sale? I don't want them to feel threatened. I don't want them to feel like I'm pressuring them. It's just like I'm wondering, And I also tell them a lot of times, especially if I'm doing like a driving for dollars list, I'll just say, hey, I was driving around the neighborhood and I saw it. I was just curious, Is it even for sale? Sometimes they'll say, what makes you think it's for sale? I said, well, I can't remember, to tell you the truth. I wrote a whole list down, but I might have seen some overflowing mail in the mailbox, or maybe the gutters had some stuff in them. I'm not sure. I was just curious. But if it's not, I understand. And I just really take those steps back. And then the thing is, the motivated people will step forward. you will know that you have a motivated person. If you don't, you'll find out right away, and you're not like coming across as threatening, by saying potentially and all of that. Like, that's the way I do it. And then less time to start talking. I love it when they say that one's not for sale, but I have another one that is.
Yes.
That happens a lot.
Yes. So they have one in a better area. I was talking to one up in 63137 North County. They said, no, we got one in Baldwin. I said, oh, well, alrighty then. Let's talk about that one.
I wish that would happen to me.
But I messed that deal up by failing to follow up. It ended up getting listed. I said, God dang it.
No, I need one of those. I need an ARV of 500K or more, everybody.
Oh, why you didn't tell me?
Okay. I got a buyer that is hungry. Ooh. And I'm missing them too. I'm just
come by this hotel building for 1.4 million. 78 units, 78 bathrooms, 78 baths and beds. That's his number. That's in his ballpark. You want to spend big money? Come on, big spender. We got something for you.
We're looking for a single family home. As far as I know.
Okay. Can we convert?
Good. I love those big deals.
Can we convert some of those bedrooms and bathrooms into kitchens?
Yeah, I'm sure you can. You can do anything. It ain't nothing wrong with these buildings that money can't fix. Just throw some money at it. It'll be fixed, no matter what you want to do with it.
That's right. Hey, Derek. I'm Derek. I don't know if you want to ask this question or you want me to read it out there, buddy.
Come on, Derek. What's your question?
Oh man, I wanted you to read it out.
All right, I will. If you don't want to, I'll read it out. So I don't do any of this, but I'm asking anybody on the group, whether they're watching via the social medias, the interwebs, or whatever. But Derek asked, what's the best way to automate your system for virtual wholesale?
What is the best way to automate?
Automate, yep.
Simple. Same thing you're doing now. Call, text, that's automated. Put a system on it depending on, your budget and things like that. You can use some of the, free or cheap stuff, or you can spend money on a system that does it all for you with a one push of a button, say, bloop, and just go back and do your life. And you don't have to think about it no more. So, there's systems out here that you can use that you can do that type of stuff with. As far as, sellers calling back, it's still going to be some human interaction. One way or another, we getting on that phone. Do not dodge out of getting on the phone eventually, even if it's a text campaign, even if it's a ringless voicemail, get on the phone with them people and be a person. A lot of people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. If they like you on the phone, you're a person. You're not on there, hey, yeah, I want to buy your house for 2 cents. Come on, baby, let me have it. They're not going to deal with you. Or, you sign any kind of, just be a human. If you just be a regular old person, you'll be amazed at the results. Anybody else want to add to that?
Dead on. No, that's dead on. Yep.
Solid.
Thank you.
I see we got about 14 other somethings on here, comments or something. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. This group has awesome, what do you say? This group is wild, awesome tips. That's what they said over here on Periscope. Glenn says he has a buyer for me, Chris. All right, hit me up. We'll make sure you get some with it. All right, so Nicole has a long question here, I think. Let's see here. I was trying to help my brother in another state by contacting the realtor who wasn't being responsive, and it turns out the guy has at least 20 properties for sale. Just got this info in this morning. The agent sent me the list of the listed and unlisted properties. And does anyone, I don't know if there's a question with that. Well, with that many properties, yeah, you might want to go ahead and try to figure out and get them under contract with you so you can sell them if you can. But if you got that agent in there, an agent can throw a monkey wrench in your deal if they already got some type of listing agreement with them. It just depends on the numbers. If the numbers make sense, you can still wholesale a deal if that's what your plan is to do with those 20 properties, but the numbers got to be right. I'm not a fan of pick package deals. I know a lot of people, I got this 16 pack or 12 pack. And I'll be like, man, if the numbers ain't right, I don't care how many packs it is. You can try to throw it in a package and make it look sweet, but I'm still going to look at it as each house is what it is when you get through. And that's why I try to, even if somebody come to me with 3 houses, I'm putting them on 3 separate contracts because I might find 3 separate buyers. I don't know. That's just a little tip I would add to that. What do you think, Rich?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've done package deals before. They're good if you've got one that's a dog, but you got one that's a really good deal. It's great to put them together so you can average out and say, look, you can get the dog and the great one for an average of this. But yeah, I mean, I honestly, when it comes down to it, I'm a fan of doing one at a time. But I mean, package deals can be done if the stars line up right. I mean,
seriously, if things line up, yeah, package deals can be great. Yeah, it just depends.
Is it limited buyers when it comes to those, or is it kind of like the same type of people?
I mean, when I was, the ones I've done, it's been, you're not going to get your just run of the mill. Depends how many. A package of 5, obviously, it's easier to sell to even a lower, lower end investor that, landlord or somebody. That's easier to sell than a 20 pack or a 30 pack or a 50 pack, right? That's that'd be it. But I mean, if the more houses in there, obviously it's going to limit the number of folks who could possibly buy it.
Yeah, because somebody sent me one with like I think 16, 17 houses, and they're like, "Oh, it's 800,000," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might take about 3 or 4 of those. Yeah, I don't know."
That guy, yeah.
And them numbers was kind of high. I mean, from what I saw, I'm like, "You asking how much for what over there?
Yeah,
that's too high either way it go." I mean, regardless of the package, the numbers ain't good. I mean, that's from what I seen. They were just glancing over. It don't take much. And, when you've done enough deals, you kind of know, hey, this is kind of high. You want what, 80,000 over there? Oh, hell no.
I got that same guy. I said, is that for all 14? No, that's just for that one.
Numbers too high.
That neighborhood, it was like right there next door to Castle Point.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Cherie over here on Facebook says, does anyone have any insight on Ladybird deeds? Never heard of that.
What's that?
Ladybird deeds. Anybody heard of that?
I don't know about Ladybird deeds.
Yeah,
do they want to expand what it is?
I don't know. I never heard of it.
I mean, maybe maybe the term, from one. Again, no offense. Maybe whoever they got that term from might be another guru who's calling something else. Something else.
Yeah, Ladybird deed can be anything. I know about the warranty deed, the quit claim deed, and and the special warranty deed, but I never heard of a Ladybird deed.
Me either. So we're looking for buyer. Oh, Kathy, I'm sorry. You want to mention this? You want me to?
Come on, Kathy, drop something heavy on.
The whole group, because we got people. And seriously, this being honest, Kathy, we got people watching on Chris's social media accounts. They're not in this call on this 9.
Okay. Yeah, I just we know that in our area there's a lot of homes that we could probably do driving for dollars, but right now we don't have a buyer for anything in Dupo. There's a lot of houses being rehabbed and going, but we don't have an outlet for that. But we could really get the houses if we did have someone. Also, I put in there some zip codes that we do have buyers for, that if anybody has wholesale properties that they want to contact us with.
So wait a minute, you're saying you can get some deals, but you don't have a buyer for them? Is that what you're saying?
Right. In our area, we live in Dupo, and we could get some deals in Dupo, but we don't have a source for buyers right now. So we're set up only in Missouri, which we would like to set up more like in our area too, so that we could, get some of these properties that we're seeing that we're having to miss.
Well, lock them up low, though. If you get them low enough, believe me, there's a buyer. Don't worry about that. Get that thing low. Somebody will buy. I'll buy it if it's low enough. Yeah, you bring me one that's 100,000 for $5,000. I'm buying it. I ain't even got to come see
it. Right.
Just put me on and I'll send the money over.
Yeah, right.
But
we just want to,
Do you buy houses in South St. Louis, like on the states, streets, Alabama, California, all
You're
that?
on mute, so I don't know if
I'm
hearing you.
Chris, can you hear Mark? Okay.
So you buy those properties?
Yes. Yeah.
In St. Louis
yes. Yeah. I have some on the state streets. Got one on Alabama. Got one on Compton. We got them all over. Anywhere on this side, bring them on.
Okay.
We love them.
Well, the biggest thing we need whoever is buying these properties, we need the criteria. Like, do you want a 2 and 1? Do you want a 3 and 2? What price are you looking at? We're new at this, so we have to know that criteria, so we're not just getting stuff we don't need.
I guess the criteria of the percentage of ARV, I know a lot of people are at 70, some people are at 75%. I guess need to know. You know, I mean, I guess that's a standard.
If you get that bad boy low enough, it won't even matter. I wouldn't even. I mean, I understand. I know a lot of people do that. Like, oh, what's your criteria? If you get a deal, say ARV is 100,000, you get it locked up for 30 or 20 or 10. We don't even care about all that other stuff. Right. To be honest.
Right.
And then do you want your houses, like when you buy houses, do you want them already rented, already rehabbed, or you just want the house?
I prefer them vacant, but I will look at any deal. And if I don't want it, we know people who buy. So that's why I say I wouldn't even really get caught up on that inside. Just get it low enough. You know, if you think it's a deal, get a little lower than that, and I'm pretty sure you'll be okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, get it a little lower. Would that be good advice, Laura? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, guys, the thing that everyone should remember is the deal will sell itself. Making a buyer's list is great, but you do not need it to get started, because you can find buyers once you have the deal, or you can find people to JV with who already have the buyers. So I would not I think when people build a buyer's list first, they're getting it backwards, to be honest. Find those deals, because your buyer's list can't do anything for you when you don't have the deals ready to go. Chris is talking about, or people are talking about 70% of ARV minus, what's the criteria? Again, Chris is right on the money. The criteria won't matter so much, 3-bedroom versus 2-bedroom versus rented or vacant. When the number's right, it doesn't matter. Someone's out there for it. If you're borderline, this is my trick. If I come across a deal that's borderline on the numbers, I will still try to make a deal out of it, especially if I don't have anything else going on at the time. And the way I do that is I make sure to get ultra transparent with my sellers about the fact that I might not be able to make this work at this number. Here's the number I'm confident at. Okay, that doesn't work for you, Mr. Seller. You want this number. Well, why don't you let me try? And please understand that I think it's a little bit higher, but if I can make it work, I'd really like to do that. So that's been a trick I've used many times over the years to get things moving. And it doesn't have to be a home run to put it under contract. And like I said, if you don't want to let someone down, you just have to let them know ahead of time. I'll do my best.
And use that Rich Groves line. It won't cost you a dime.
That's true. That's true.
And I've used option contracts to make it feel more fluid to people. I've used JV agreements with sellers, JVs with sellers. And I just closed 2 today that were 2 different JVs with the same seller. So there's so many ways to structure a deal for transparency, for flexibility, and all that good stuff. So just if you can find a deal or a borderline deal, just go for it and then start calling people up, other wholesalers or whatever buyers you do know.
Absolutely. Piggyback on that, Laura's absolutely right. If you're afraid that you don't have a big enough buyers list before you get the deals, that's the reason why they call it reverse wholesaling, right? Reverse wholesaling is building your buyer list first, which is strong and it's a solid, thought. But again, a great deal will build a buyer list for you, because you start marketing a great deal, buyers are going to come out of the woodwork, and now you've got a huge buyers list.
Yeah, organically from a real deal, not just I might have someone coming across, because people call us all the time and say, hey, well, what's your buying criteria? Oh, do you buy on this side? How many bedrooms you want? What's the square footage got to be? And I'm like, man, you wasting a lot. I let them know right on the phone, you wasting a lot of time. You can be on the phone talking to a seller. Waste that energy on a seller, building rapport, talking to them, figuring out their pain points, how you can add value to them, because a buyer gonna come. Buyers, a lot of people try to be loyal. Oh, I'm loyal to this buyer. Don't become a buyer's employee.
Right.
Don't do that. Get you a good deal and, flood that thing out in the market. Marketing. All this whole business is nothing but what? Marketing and sales. Marketing and sales. Repeat, repeat, repeat.
Yep. And granted, there's nothing, piggyback on what Chris said. Yeah, you don't want to be a buyer's employee. It's okay to, have that VIP list. I mean, a lot of folks, even fortune builders, say they got like their top 5, right? The top 5 buyers who bought from them. Yeah, shoot it to them first. Give them the first opportunity to buy it from you. But if then they want to start negotiating and talking, nope, you know what? I'm moving on to somebody else at my price, because I've done my research. I've done my homework. I know that this is the right price. So I'm going to get it out to somebody else. And now maybe they want to think about it and come back, say, okay, yeah, we can do it. Then that's fine. But yeah, don't be married to your buyers that have bought a lot from you. Give them the opportunity first. Sure, nothing wrong with that. That's a good relationship building move. But if they they can't get it at your price, then move on to somebody else and try to get them. Unless you're fine, like, okay, they're only 1,000 off, and you're going to get 10 grand on anyway,
That actually happened to me before. Somebody who bought from me before, they're like, oh, let me know next time you get one over here. So I shot them the deal first. Say, yeah, I got this deal. You got a chance to get it. Oh, well, I really need to be a little lower around here. And I said, well, I'll let you see it. And then about 3 days later, somebody came and bought it, and it was no problem. Like, trying to be loyal and trying to send it straight to this person. I just don't advocate for that. I just don't like it. Because, they try to, especially if they try to beat you up on your price too. Like, wait a minute, I gave you the VIP access. Then you want to knock me down. Come on, man, work with me here.
Exactly.
Yeah, for me, I've got some buyers I really love to work with because they're so easy.
Yeah.
So lots of times, it just depends on the personality of the deal or what's going on. I have people that I just love to work with, and they always get my deal first. But I'm not going to hand over all kinds of profit, at the same time. So, but for me, it's less about who will pay more. If you're a complete jerk to me, but you pay a little more, I don't want to deal with you for a little more. And then, but if you're really cool, really easy, you show up on time, the money's early, the earnest money's there, all that good stuff, and it's relaxed and we're smiling, I'm like, that guy gets the call first, or that girl. They get the call first every time, and then if we can't put it together, I move on to someone else. So.
And the whole adage of a bird in the hands or two in the bush. I mean, if you work with somebody and they come through, I'll take less money of working with an easy buyer than holding out for that extra 1,000 or whatever it is from somebody I have no idea who they are. I've done it. Whatever but that's your own personal, prerogative.
That's right. People like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And if they janky, get them away from me.
But Kathy and Mark, talking about those Duplo deals, I do have a few buyers. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I won't give up too much of the information, but I think so I think you might be able to get them at a good price.
That's right. You got to go ahead and get these deals done here. So, somebody that Nicole has a question here on Facebook. Is anyone wholesaling any land?
The guy that did once, he wasn't in the business long. And I'm not saying that's negative. It depends, right? If you can wholesale land if it's hot, if it's in a developing area. But if it's, who wants to buy land in a place that hasn't seen a new house built in 30 years? I don't know. Just depends. That's my take. Again, that's mine. It's not off of anything professional. It's just my thought.
Anybody else did anything with land at all?
I did one lot one time.
You made money?
$500.
500. Yeah. Made 500, or that's how much?
Yeah, this is funny. I was helping another investor unload some properties. It's a pretty well-known investor, Jasmine, and he had some. I shouldn't have been spending my time on it. I'll put it to you that way. Well, eventually, I got a couple done for not enough money for the time that was put in. But I really love this guy. He's a great guy. And, at one point I just told him, I was like, this isn't worth it. And he knew that, and he felt bad. And he gave me a lot. He just gave me a lot of leave to stop it. And so he gave it to me without telling me ahead of time. So I didn't even know I was getting it. I got a quitclaim deed in the mail, and I'm like, I don't even want this.
You gotta pay the taxes. Happy birthday.
I was mad for a minute. And then I thought, okay, universe, work with me. And I put it out there on Facebook or Craigslist, and somebody bought it from me for $500 the next week. So I made $500.
Nice.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Free money.
Yeah, it was all good.
Sell a fridge, get a free lot. Buy a fridge from you.
I ain't cutting no grass though. Just let them know that.
All right.
I know that's right. So
John, what's going on with you, man? What have you been up to?
Not much. Look, I'm just gonna throw myself out there, I guess, because you were talking about deals and stuff like that, and I was thinking about one that happened to me over a year ago, and this was a home in North Point, and I remember going back and forth with the owner off and on, to finally, to even with his sisters to to try to get them all together to sign, get a contract with them. So finally I got one with them. And I remember posting it out there for, I think it was like $7,500. And then another investor who I knew, he contacted me and he was offering me like 6,000 or something like that. I said, dude, it's not going to work. I mean, the owner's asking this much for it, and then you're asking for something lower. And then we were going back and forth and everything, and there came a moment where I felt as though he finally came up with an offer for me, and it was like $8,000. I said, dude. And I felt like I was begging this dude. I said, look, give me at least $1,000 for my trouble, man. And then later on, I came across my sheet for that home and stuff like that, and I happened to just go up on public records to look for it because I thought he was buying it for himself, right? Well, what he did was he bought it for me, and then he sold it to one of his own investors, and he made like 15 off of the home. I said, I was so pissed at myself for being manipulated like that. And I told myself, I said, I am never going to try to wholesale it off to another investor, especially him, because I know there's always some other agenda behind all this, right? And but it was a awakening for me because,
So you feel like he took advantage of you in some type of way?
I think so. At least that's how I felt.
I mean, how long were you marketing it for?
It wasn't too long.
Oh, okay. So there were no other buyers interested, though, I guess, at that time.
Well, I mean, there wasn't like it wasn't like there was a lot out there, but he was the one. He was the most aggressive, I would say.
Right. Okay. And I guess you didn't take it back to your seller at all to see if you can get any lower with them or anything like that?
Well, no, because the thing was they were split. He was splitting it up with because it was actually his parents' home they passed away, and there was significant mold damage within the home. And it was him and I think 3 other sisters who they were going to split the money up with. So there were a total of 4 people. So I had to try to give them some change from where all 4 people, so that I couldn't come and ask for them to bring their price down any more than what they initially agreed with me.
Yeah, I know that'd be kind of difficult when you got multiple people like that, but I have no hard feelings about going back. If I got a buyer that really wanted at a number, I'm going back to that seller. Hey, this is what we can do if you're ready to move now. If not, and I'm not saying it was bad or wrong or nothing, but when somebody's ready to go, I mean, all I can do is ask if they'll go a little lower, we can get it done now. If not, we can wait it out if they know you're, finding somebody for it. I never try to make a decision for a seller or a buyer. I just ask the question, say, this is what the situation is. Would that work for you? We can get this thing wrapped up in 5 days or whatever, and let them tell me no versus me assuming that a seller won't drop their price at all or whatever to make it to where I make my money. And another thing too, I don't really disclose to an end buyer that, oh yeah, I'm making 2,000, 3,000, 10,000. Hey, this is the number. Does this number work for you? I don't negotiate my assignment fee with nobody ever. I just never do that. Even from the beginning, I knew not to do that. They say this is the number, our all-in cost, this plus closing costs or whatever, and I never do that. Would you agree with that, Laurel?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So basically, what you're saying, Chris, is when you put out your marketing, you don't write my contract price is this, my assignment price is this, here's the total. You just say here's the total, and then whenever you get down to paperwork, they obviously would see the assignment fee at that point. Is that the way you do it?
So right now, the way I do it is a little more tricky. So I have it set up to where we have the regular purchase and sales agreement, and then we have that assignment agreement. On that assignment agreement, it states on there, the buyer is buying this contract at this price. It don't say anything about my assignment fee. Yeah, my assignment agreement is wheeled up just right. The contract purchase price is X.
Nice.
And it even has a blurb on there that the original purchase price may be omitted. that's in there as well. So, you know.
Okay, and take me down this road because this is so simple. I can't believe I never thought of this. Is genius, right? Like, why have I not done this all along? But
I never negotiate assignment fees. This is the purchase price for the contract. I'm selling the contract, not the house. I'm selling the contract for X number plus closing costs or whatever it is, and it's by way of assignment. And you know, most people don't have any problem. I mean, I haven't had any problems with anybody. Not even with the title company, because even when I do it that way, so like I said, we have the purchase agreement, and then we have the assignment agreement. Then I give a third document, closing instructions, which is a summary, real simple and plain for the title company, so they don't have to ask me nothing. It has the buyer's information, contact information such as email, phone number, and you know what they're paying, the seller's information, my information, any extra special information that we need to know, or any kind of funky stuff, you know, seller agrees to pay something or whatever kind of funky stuff that's going on extra. And who's paying the closing costs? It's on a summary sheet, even though it says it on the contract, but I give a summary sheet to the title company. So they have no reason to call me other than to say your bank, your wire's on the way, or you know, you want to pick up your check. They don't have any reason to be calling me because they got everything they
still
need.
Do, right? You know, they still. I do the same thing. I don't do a summary sheet, but I put it all in an email, and I feel like I write the perfect map of the structure. They still, you know, because little things change in between each deal. So a lot of times I think they think it's like my last one, and then they didn't look at the change, even though I try to point it out. But then I'm writing a lot, and I try not to write too much. So, but here's my next question. Okay, so when you do this, I understand how you do the paperwork to get it to escrow and all that. But at closing, then, wouldn't your assignment fee be disclosed at closing?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be disclosed by that time, but I already got a non-refundable in hand by that time.
Yeah, and they've already wired in the money, and they're sitting there and all that. So
you can back out if you want to.
Away, at that point, they're really.
Go ahead, back out. I'll just sell it to the next person to keep your money.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, because I was going to say you'd still be getting like the title insurance for the original purchase price. So I just wondered, but it sounds like I understand how that would work. So that's really cool.
Yeah. So, and usually they don't have any problem as long as the title company is on board and they understand and they're not confused. Because like I said, that summary sheet says on there, wholesale fee to wholesaler. It has it on that summary sheet. So there's no confusion. Well, I couldn't. What are you getting? 12 grand on this one? What that paper say? What are you getting on this one? Whatever it say on there is what it is, even though it's on the regular paper too, but that summary sheet just makes it clean. They don't have to remember nothing. Because like you said, they don't read the paperwork. Like even on my original purchase and sales agreement, I've had deals go into escrow. The title company called me back and say, oh yeah, we're not going to be able to close by this date, but we're going to close the next week because of whatever. And we need the seller to sign something. And I'm like, no. We got title issues or we have a delay. It's already in our original purchase and sales agreement, an additional 90 days to clear title issues. Or if we have an issue, it's already in the original purchase and sales agreement. I don't need any more signatures. I just ready to close. So I got all the answers in the front end, so they don't have to ask me nothing on the back end.
I like it. I know about having that blurb in there about title issues and the extra time, but I never thought of it for a delay in closing just because title commitment wasn't back yet. I never thought of using it for that. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but I just feel like I would get the call and they'd say, we need an amendment signed for the closing date. And I'd be like, okay. And then I'd go and I'll
tell them it's on the original purchase and sales agreement. It's already built in.
I love it.
And they'd be like, oh, I do see that now. I know. Thank you. I made your job easy. That's what I tell the title company. All you got to do is read that line right there that says, and it's a one-page agreement. You know, It's not like it's a long thing. It's one sheet. You know, it's not. I mean, it's not even nothing on the back. It's one sheet, clean, simple. Says everything they need right there on the original purchase and sales agreement. So usually they usually act right after they read it.
Absolutely.
Cool. So let's see here. I think we got a couple more questions in here before we wrap this thing up. They say, let's see here. You can back out if you want to. They like that joke. You can back out. I got your non-refundable. You can back out. Go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Man, that non-refundable earnest money deposit, that is where it's at. And it doesn't have, I used to always ask for like $500. These days, $2,000, $2,500. If you want it, you'll give it. And it's non-refundable. So that has really shown me people's true colors the last 6 to 8 months that I've been going harder on that. So that's big.
Yeah, when it comes to that non-refundable, I don't even ask for any amount. I ask them, what can you put towards your non-refundable deposit or your EMD or whatever you want to call it? What can you put towards it? Some people say $5,000. Okay, damn, $2,000. Okay, 500. You know, you can put a little more than that. We usually get a little more than that. You know, put some skin in the game because usually they'll act right. I don't have problems out of buyers. Once they locked in, I don't have no problems out of them.
Yeah.
They're usually going to perform, or if they don't, well, you know, I didn't do it. You did it.
Right.
All right. Anything you want to add to that, Rich?
No, not at all. Not at all. I just I wanted to give Michael a quick chance. Michael, you want to tell us what you've been up to? Michael Cecilia.
Michael making too many good deals out here.
He is, man. He's going swimming in that water hole. That's what he's doing. I can't see if he's even there.
No, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm here. I actually, you know, I'm regrouping. I lost a deal. I had two really nice deals. I got California Avenue. I got that tied up, and that's going to be a really nice, profitable deal. And then I had a deal in Overland that was really good. It's probably going to be about $28,000 profit after probably a 60-day construction project, and so 90 days, 95, 100 days, I'd get 25,000 back. But I couldn't find financing, so I lost the deal. So I'm kind of learning. I need to find out who I need to reach out. The problem I have is it's just me, and so I had that huge project with California. So I had probably about 20 grand wrapped up in that deal. So I didn't show 10 grand. I was going through Faster House trying to get them, and they want 10 grand balance on your business account. They want an average of 10 grand a month. And I had 1 month that didn't have 10 grand in there, so I couldn't get financed. So anyway, I'm regrouping. I decided to go with Podio. We talked a lot the last time I talked as far as the back end of it. I've got a guy that's going to engineer the Podio program where it's going to, and I can't remember, someone talked about it earlier today. I don't think he's on there now, but how to kind of streamline the deal to where I'm going to be able to put, once I get it skip traced, I put it in Podio. And the follow-ups are going to be automatically put in there. So I have a time follow-up, 1 day, 7 day, 14 day, 21 day. So it's going to be a 12-week marketing program, and then it'll spin back around after 12 weeks. It'll start decreasing after we set them to less, maybe 30 days or whatever. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to have once I get that set up, I will have a VA. That'll be making phone calls for me. I have a ton of leads, but when I spoke to a few people, it's like, you can have 500,000 leads, but it don't make any difference if you can't focus on which ones you need to call and follow up. So he gave me a good idea. He says, get a good list of 100 or so leads, 200 leads, space them in between. If you dump 25 a day in there, and so every day you got 25 phone calls, you got 25 mailers going out, and then the next day you got another 25 going. So before you know it, you're going to have 100 marketing pieces going out every day, through postcards. And then I need to learn the texting program, like Rich was saying, and then the whatever you call it, the secret little voicemail. The phone said, "Hey, I didn't hear that phone ring. I got voicemail on there." So I'm getting that resolved. But I also got the Podio guy that's going to design it for me will be able to track it'll be able to link all that together. I'm Chris, I looked at your side a little bit as far as what RVM to use and what texting. I'm going to start doing my skip tracing through you. I was using batch source or batch lead.
Mm-hmm.
I said I got a bunch of numbers, but once you start making phone calls, those numbers ain't no good. It doesn't make any difference if you got a full spreadsheet if the numbers ain't good.
Yeah, that stuff that's the hardest part of this business, in my opinion, just really reaching out to these people. If you can get them to at least give me an answer, you want to sell, you don't want to sell, leave me alone, whatever, it's kind of hard to, reach out to them and get a real answer, whether you texting them, calling them, mailing them, whatever. Just give me a response. That's all I want, so I can get you off my list.
And that's where I struggled. Like I said before, I'm not doing super great like all you guys, but I'm without doing any marketing. Whenever I want a deal, I get a deal. But I'm not wanting to do one deal at a time. I'm wanting to get to 2 deals and 3 deals at a time. and then want to do more wholesaling because I haven't done any wholesaling. And to me, wholesaling is fairly easy in my eyes.
It is. And you said something about they require. You said when you were doing the financing, they required you to have $10,000 in a bank account. Is that what you said?
On an average balance has to show for 3 months in a row $10,000.
Is that the hard money program? They didn't tell me that because I just asked them about that.
Yeah, no, that's everything else I had, and listen, I mean, it was I think it was like 60 grand or something that I went finance. It was going to be worth 140 something, and I had the money in my retirement accounts. I mean, I showed twice as much as what I needed, or more than that, in my retirement accounts. But Faster House, I guess that's. Didn't care about that.
So you gotta reach out to us when you find them deals and gotta get it funded or something, because we network with people. We know some people that can make it happen, or either Laura got a bunch of money sitting in the bank doing nothing with it.
Sean Grease, did you reach out to Sean?
I talked to Sean Grease. My boy wants like 3% interest rate a month.
Yeah, that's not bad.
How about Longhorn? Have you talked to Longhorn?
Yeah, Longhorn. I had just done the California deal was like 225, and I just finished it. I just got it approved, and they were like, "Well, we just got that. We don't want to extend anymore." Besides that, because they had just financed it, and like a week later, I found this house. So,
I'll say I haven't done this personally, but Sean Greaves is the guy I keep hearing his name come up when people can't qualify. I'm not saying Faster House is wrong with the way they do things. It's just the way they do things.
Right.
But a lot of people are finding their hard money is hard to get right now from Faster House. And then with Sean Greaves, it's all about the deal. It's all about the house. He doesn't check your credit. He doesn't ask for bank statements. None of that crap. You got to have a killer deal. If you got a killer deal, Sean will get you done. That's what I hear.
Real simple. He'll finance it. He don't even have an application.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's money for the deals. If you got a deal, don't let it slip away. Somebody, I can't finance it. We know somebody that can do it. If not, we'll pool our money together. She got 10, he got 10, he got 10, she got 10, everybody got 10. We put the money in, and we not all we can win.
And my thing is, I don't mind giving a piece of pie to people. Like Laura said, joint venturing. If I find a deal, and I've got a really good contractor and a realtor that has a lot of connections. So I'm thinking of ideas on how to get deals done. At the end of the day, if I can get a wholesale deal with my contractor having good hardcore numbers on construction, it'd be a whole lot easier to wholesale fix and flip deal, and then possibly get him some business as well, and not have to worry about keeping him busy because I've got other people keeping him busy and I'm making money without the risk.
That's right. You can. I mean, there's money for the deals. Don't ever let a deal slip away saying it ain't no money. We'll come up with the money for a deal.
All right, I appreciate it. Hey, Laura, have you gone through him yet, Sean?
Are you talking about Sean
Yeah.
Reeves? I have not, but I have a good friend, and I've talked with her a lot, and watched her, Catherine Harrison, watched her look for the perfect rehab, and then she got it. She got a great deal. She was all excited, and then she went to all these people that she thought would fund her, and Faster House was one of them. I forgot who the others were, and she's not destitute or anything like that. It's just like whatever. There was something different with each one that they didn't quite hit. I think a lot of it is down payment, and I know you're not talking about Faster House asking for a down payment. At the time, I think they were asking her for a bigger down payment than she wanted to let go of. And she's like, I just want this real hard money thing. And then she went with Sean Greaves, and she was singing his praises. And then I started, I just watch stuff on social media and stuff. Then I see all these other people singing his praises, and I'd read comments and all that. And it just came across as super legit to me. So I would definitely call him for one of mine.
Yeah, I used him before on one of my deals up in North County. He did one for me.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really like a delayed wholesale, closed on it and sold it like a month later.
Yeah.
I really wanted to keep that house. I really didn't want to sell it, but I made about $8,000 on it. I wanted to keep that house though.
What do you know? The last time I had heard, he was charging like 3% monthly fee, so it ended up being like 36%.
No, it's not that much. It's an interest only. It's actually inexpensive.
Okay.
It's 3% on the front end and 3% on the back end. Sometimes they'll put it on the back end, but you can. I can send you his number if you don't have it.
Yeah, send that to me.
Yeah, and you can get him. He'll hook you up. Like I said, he did one deal for mine. It was easy. It was no, oh, let me run your name and let me see about your bank statements and let me do your credit check. And like, I don't even know why people doing credit checks on real estate. Like, if I bring you a deal worth $200,000 and we can get it for 50, what the hell my credit got to do with this? Just being honest.
Exactly.
If the deal is smoking in any, I mean, I can understand you might want to have a big spread, or they might say, well, I don't really want to loan that much, but I'll loan this on it, something, versus, oh no, I don't want to do it at all, or let me run your credit and run your name and put a hard pull on my credit. Hell no, I don't like all that. That's just me personally, but it's their money. Do what you want with your money.
That deal was 60% loan to value, including your construction costs.
Did they sell it yet? We can go back and get it. No deal is dead. Remember?
Look.
Remember what I was saying earlier. No deal is really dead. We're gonna bring it back to life.
Right.
So cool. All right, let's see what we got here. So the people watching on the live stream here, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. When's the next one you're going to be having, Rich?
The next one is 2 weeks from now, August 25th. We're going to do another 6 p.m. simulcast with Mr. Chris Monroe. Everybody knows him. There he is right there.
And then if they want to sign up, get on the email list to be notified. Where do they need to go, Rich?
STLVIPlist.com. Don't worry about all the mumbo jumbo about, get my report or anything like that. Don't worry. That's the place you sign up. You're going to get the emails letting you know that the link is here and register and all that stuff. So, yep.
That's right. Any closing statements from Miss Kathy or Mark?
Yeah, I've enjoyed this today. It's always a good eye opener. When you were talking on your deal, were you talking about when you double closed? Is that, Chris? Was that what you were talking about when you had that one form, just the one form you showed us?
No, I have never double closed any deal. I do assignments. So that was just a purchase and sales agreement.
Just back up if you would, and Laura knew what you were talking about. Me, Kathy, both were lost. You have the one form.
Yep. So here's
what do you call that?
Here's what we have: a purchase and sales agreement. This is the agreement we do with the original seller, between me or my entity and the homeowner. Mr. Seller, Mr. Motivated Seller. That's the AB contract, they call it. Then you have the assignment agreement, another one-page nice document. Assignment agreement, which I'm going to assign the original contract over to the end buyer. Both of those documents is the basics of what you need, but I have included a third document, which is a closing instructions, just basically summarizes what's on this already to make it easier to digest for the title company, so they don't have to ask me anything. They don't have to say, what's the seller's phone number? What's the buyer's email? All of that stuff's on that closing document, so they don't have to ask me anything.
And the closing company is the only ones who see that, right? Your buyer, your seller, they don't see that.
Exactly. The title company will get all that stuff.
That's just a wholesale deal, and you go from one person to the next. But somehow somebody wants to know what you made in the middle, and I guess that's probably IRS, if I'm guessing. They do that.
You want to know a secret? Sometimes they don't even know, but I ain't gonna say that out loud.
Yeah, okay. I'm just curious. We couldn't. We didn't know what you were talking about. We're glad that you.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, if you ever have any questions, because I know I talk kind of fast on some stuff, re-ask. I'll explain it again. There's no such thing as a dumb question, so I'll always come back.
Oh, I can do some of those.
Oh, no, impossible.
No, it's impossible. And the other part, if I can add on that, and tell me shut up, Chris, if you want to, but no, if like Mark at the closing, and like Chris was saying, he talks about the contract is this price, and he doesn't even talk about assignment fee or whatever, because that's not going to be, negotiated. But at the closing table, obviously you've got the sales agreement, which says, let's call it 10,000, and the assignment fee was 5,000 or whatever. So it's 15,000 is what you sold to the seller. But at the closing table, on the HUD, the buyer will see the $10,000 purchase price, and that's actually what the closing costs. A lot of title companies will base their closing costs on the purchase price. So the purchase, the closing costs won't be tied into the 15,000; it'll only be tied into the 10,000. I mean, I'm just using the easy numbers here, and they'll see your assignment fee 5,000, so total it's 15,000. But sometimes you actually have to ask the title company not to disclose that to the seller. to just put it on the buyer side of the HUD. Don't put that on the seller side of the HUD.
Yeah, they call it a blind HUD. And that's the thing anyway. If you're working with a reputable, good title company, they know that by default. Even though, you know, some of these title companies, you almost have to go hold their hand. Hey, little title company, this is what we're trying to do. Please don't mess up my deal. Please do the right thing here and make this thing go to closing so we don't have any problems.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, tonight is my hair night. I'm going to have to go pretty.
We're going to wrap it up.
This just don't happen by accident.
I feel you.
That's right. That's right. Did you have any closing questions or statements, Kathy?
No, I just think this was really, really interesting tonight, and I appreciate everybody's little nuggets of information they've given us.
That's what we do. Drop nugget bombs. Rich Groves. We ready for them live ones downtown, ain't we, Rich?
That's right. I can't wait, man.
Mask on. Come in there like this on.
That's right.
Let me see. I ain't even got no mask nearby.
Terrell's even going to join us when we see face to face, aren't you, Terrell? I mean, he's not showing his face now, man. Everybody can see him.
Where he at? He ain't on here.
There he is.
Yeah, I got a puppy over here, so I'm busy. But
Did you have any closing questions or statements or anything before we wrap this thing up?
No, just thank you guys. Thanks for facilitating the call. Thanks, Chris, for the nugget about the assignment. Guys, you learn something new in this business every day. And just everyone's doing an amazing job. Take action. Don't forget about your old leads. That's where I make the vast majority of my money. Something that was a no to begin with or died and came back to life. I don't know if this is good or bad, but that's the majority of my deals. So everybody keep pushing. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you next time.
That's right. That's right. What about you, Michael? I know you had your story there at the end. Did you have any closing statements or questions before we wrap this thing up? Or John, if he's muted.
This is great stuff, man. I know there's not 150 people on this, but I tell you, it's great to hear the successes and like Lori. I mean, she's been doing this forever and a day, and she even struck. You know, it's not her struggling. It's a stinking title company, but it doesn't matter how long you've been here. Like Laura says, you still every day is a new something's going to come up, and shy and you're afraid to make calls. You're not going to learn. The only way you're going to learn is if you make a mistake or you experience something you've never experienced before. I mean, Chris, I'm sure every day you got something like, what the hell? You scratch your head like, I've never seen that before. So everything is, I mean, you're going to get something new every day, and it's all learning experience. The only way you're going to learn is by failing.
Fail forward, baby. That's right.
If you're ever bored in whatever job you're in now, if you're bored and it's mundane, get into this, because you will never be bored, because there is something different every day.
Every day.
Rich and I went on an appointment on Sunday. One of the top 3 craziest appointments I've ever been on. So it'll keep you on your toes, everybody. But enjoy it.
He called me twice today.
He's still calling. Yeah.
Oh, he's acting like Tyrell or whatever that dude's name was. What was his name? Tyrone over there in Illinois.
He's acting like Tyrone, but I mean, honestly, let me ask you this: has anybody on the call ever dealt with somebody who legit has paranoia / now I'm forgetting it, and I'm about ready.
Paranoid schizophrenia.
According to his
son. That's it. I forgot. Paranoia / dementia. Has anybody ever worked with a seller with that?
Well, I will say this: be careful with that, because they could say they were not in sound mind to execute that contract. You know, make sure they have proper representation, or disclose, and hurry up and get to the finish line before too late, because they'll say, "Oh, well, I don't remember doing that," or if they really got a mental issue, that could be reversed in court.
Yep.
Hey, can I share one more thing? It has nothing to do with real estate investing. I've been huge. I always was when I was an executive out in the business world. And I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Khan Academy.
Oh yeah.
If you guys get on there, I'm telling you, I went on there last night and I couldn't get off. I was like 4 hours. I was listening to. They have an entrepreneur program. You go in there and they interviewed the guy from Intuit. They interviewed the Tesla guy. You sit and listen to how many times they failed and how many times they kept skinning their knees, but they kept getting up. if that ain't motivating to find out that guy from Tesla, I don't.
Who, Elon Musk?
What's that?
Elon Musk?
Yeah, these interviews are just, I don't know if you've listened to them, Laura or Rich, but it's the entrepreneur section, and it's just, sometimes it's motivating, and I used to be a business banker, so I always wondered, why do people get into what they do and what makes them tick? It's the same thing with business owners. When you talk to the homeowners, what do people like to talk about? They like to talk about their homes. That's kind of how you build it. But listening to these interviews, to me, I was on there for 3.5 hours. I was listening to like 4 or 5 interviews with all these top-notch guys, and just one nugget or 2 nuggets to listen to them on a day, kind of gives you a break from listening to. I listen to YouTube all day long about real estate investing and that, but it kind of gives you a break on a different realm. But an entrepreneur, same thing as what we are, and it kind of gives you an idea what they go through, and it's no different than, no matter what you're doing, real estate or anything else, it's no different. So it's kind of cool. I thought I'd share that.
That's right, entrepreneurship.
Khan Academy is really awesome.
Yes, KHAN Academy.
Khan Academy. That's right. All right. What about you, John? I saw you ducking in, back and forth, looking and waiting, bucking and looking and bucking and swinging. Any
bobbing and weaving.
Any
he's in training to fight Mike Tyson.
Right. Yeah, Mike Tyson getting back in the ring, right?
He is. I can't wait, man. I cannot wait.
He's gonna hurt something.
He's gonna kill somebody.
All right. Any closing statements you have or anything, John?
No, sir. I think I made myself vulnerable enough for one night. Going out.
Yeah, don't feel bad about it. This is all learning experience for all of us. None of us know everything. No matter what you learn in this business, you figure out that you really don't know nothing. It's still something else you don't know nothing about. Some marketing stream, some marketing channel, some conversation, some closing tactic or technique that you still don't know. Master all you can, and keep pushing. Don't give up. That's the only thing. Don't quit.
And thanks for sharing that, John. I mean, seriously, thanks. I mean, that was some heavy stuff, man. I mean, I felt like that before. I recently, like within the last year, I was in a situation where an investor, not quite the way you are, I didn't know he wasn't buying it for himself. He had an end buyer in California coming into town. We had a signed agreement already. Had a non-refundable, deposit, and when his California buyer came through and backed out, he wanted his deposit back, and I was fighting him, and a mutual investor who kind of was an in-between, said, "Oh man, come on, let's not quibble over $1,000 or whatever." Like there's more deals to be done down the road, and I'm like, I don't know with this guy. I've lost all faith. I ended up doing it as a favor to the in-between guy that I know, but I was like, this is bull crap. I won't do business with this guy ever again. Haven't talked to him.
So you said that was a California buyer?
Well, there was a California buyer that our local investor was trying to, he put it under contract, like, hey, I want to buy it. And he's like, yeah, my money guy is coming from California. We're gonna walk through it, and no, that's not what happened. That wasn't.
Oh yeah, that's why you always got to get that skin in the game, baby. And you ain't getting it back if you don't perform. And I don't have no hard feelings about it.
All I did, he was like, "Oh, can you write up the letter telling the title company I can get my money back?" I said, "No."
Hell no.
I said, "That's the buyer's job. If you even want it, you even want me to consider it, you need to draw those papers up."
That money's gone. Bye-bye.
And I wasn't going to do it, but like I said, a guy asked basically like, hey, do it as a favor to me, kind of thing.
And that's what I wanted to ask too. I don't know, do you ever have, well, I know you do sometime. I don't know, I'll ask Laura, I guess, because I know you do a little bit of both, Rich. When it comes to the earnest money from a buyer, do you let them give that to you or always send it to the title company?
Oh, that's a great question. I avoid taking it unless it's somebody I dealt with, another investor, but sometimes, especially low end deals, I sell to people who, they might be English second language, they might be dealing with all cash, things like that. They want to meet me, they want to give me cash, and they want to feel like the house is theirs. I try to help them go through the right process so that number one, they have title insurance, and they have something that they don't know to worry about it, but I don't want them to be worried about it. And I always tell them, because maybe they don't end up buying from me or they buy another one down the road. I'm like, do not just give me your money. Let's go to the title company. Let's put it in escrow, blah, blah, blah. So if it's anyone I haven't worked with in the past, I meet them at a title company, or I just send them off to the title company if I don't need anything from them. But then, I'll take a check if I'm doing a walkthrough with somebody I've worked with before. I don't have them make it out to me. I have them make it out to the title company.
Yeah.
Now I just saw one. I was in an office at a Household Easy office. I do deals with them, and I was talking with David Dodge about a deal. I'll kind of give some advice on what to do next. And I noticed he gave the earnest money to the seller, which nothing's wrong with it, I guess. I just thought it was odd. I didn't end up asking him too much about why he did that. Chris, you can ask him when you have him on your show.
Yeah, I was just ready to say he'll be on August 24th. David Dodge going to be on the 24th of August, 7 o'clock Central Time on the Chris Monroe Show, Monday night.
I'd be interested in that answer.
Yeah, there might be a really good reason. Like I can imagine the reason would be it's a really good deal, and he just absolutely wanted it to feel 1,000% locked up on the spot. And I think the check was like for $250. I can't remember. So it's like if he lost it in some craziness, it wouldn't kill him or anything. Maybe it just wasn't worth him waiting 24 hours to get it to the title company. Maybe it was a Saturday and he didn't want to wait till Monday because he didn't want to lose the deal. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a great question, but there might be some reason to do that. I just never have people give me their money that way. Now, I've had people bring cash, and I tell them to take your cash to the title company and get a receipt.
They won't even take the cash, though. They want a cashier's check. They don't take cash.
It depends on the title company.
Oh, some of them do? They take cash?
Actually, to end this call on a positive note, it was Investors Title who took the cash.
They took cash? They upgraded.
Continental took cash from me once. Too.
Really?
I had someone totally do the whole purchase in cash at the closing table, like $7,500.
Yeah. Yeah, I had some tenant buyers do that for me, brought a whole thing of cash, lined up on the table.
Yeah.
All hundreds. I said, dang, all that cash like that? I ain't even got to take it to the bank. Woo!
And I'll take cash. I know you didn't ask me the question directly because I know we worked in, but if I do take cash from the buyer, I have my receipt book in my truck with me all the time, so I'll write a receipt.
Yeah.
So they at least have the receipt, so they even if I haven't done the deal with them, and then I'll take it to the title company when I take the agreements to the title company myself. I try not to. I mean, maybe this is hand holding, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a control thing. I never let the buyer or seller take the paperwork to the title company.
No.
I do it myself. I'm the one who built this relationship. I'm the one who built this deal. I'm going to make sure it goes next level.
Exactly, because anything that fails is going to be your fault, regardless of whatever else.
Yeah, because I don't know. Maybe I'm too cynical for people.
Yeah, I've seen them papers over myself because we know it got there and get a response back. We don't want to say, "Oh, we didn't get it, man. Been a week. What you talking about? You ain't get it."
I did at one time. I let the buyer try to take it to the title company. Got burned. Never showed up. Oh yeah. My deposit will be there tomorrow. Never been there.
Tomorrow never came.
Just vanished.
Sounds risky.
Hey, Miss Melendez joined us. Chris, I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, wow.
And she's actually on the call. She's not like, taking 18 calls. Man.
Hello.
How's it going, Miss Melendez?
Going well. How are you?
Doing great. What's going on this slow night for you?
Slow night. I can never join any of these lives on time or for a whole one, but I'm gonna get it done one day.
That's all right. When you do, you got deals going.
I only have one phone. I don't have like a second business line, so I'm always answering my phone.
You gotta have you do.
I can't even keep up with you.
I mean, I forgot one. I'd be like, the other phone left in there, but I need to because I gotta be.
I don't even like saving two numbers for other people though. I'm like, what number do you use the most? I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, especially somebody like me with 30 phone numbers. I got too many numbers.
Like once you get more than one number and somebody asks you the number, you always give them wrong.
See, I don't want to be more stressed out.
And then you sound stupid when you're like, okay.
See, now I have someone calling me now. You jinxed it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
They can wait.
There it is.
So what's going on with you this week?
This week I am helping a lot of people sell their deals. So me being wholesaling is already the middleman thing. So if I am bringing a buyer, that makes me like more of a middleman. It's just too much. I have to wait on someone to get a document, and I have to wait on someone to deposit the earnest money, and it's just a lot of back and forth, waiting on other people and real estate. Like the fact that you're on everyone else's time and then being the middleman, it's like I don't have control. I'm just relaying messages all day.
That sucks.
Ping pong ball bouncing around, huh?
Yeah, I am.
As long as we get it to the finish line, nothing wrong with
But
that.
I do agree with that, with the earnest money, that question that you had. If it's someone that if it's a buyer that I've never worked with directly, like ever before, then I'm like, oh, okay, just to comfort them, I'm like, turn the money into the title company. If it's someone I've worked with before, I let them write the check to me. But on the assignment, I do write out, please release earnest money directly to me. Like I want them to release it to me. I don't have to take the check, but I want it to get back to me if they fell out of the deal.
Oh,
Yeah,
it says it on your paperwork.
Yeah, I write it on the assignment.
Yeah, my assignment says the deposit will be, $1,000 directly applied to the assignment fee. So that if the deal falls through, that goes.
Interesting.
See, y'all, that paperwork makes that paperwork.
I agree.
Okay, cool. Any other closing statements or anything you have, Miss Melendez, before we wrap this thing up and do some more woke stuff?
No, that was all. I'm glad I could finally join in.
Well,
I'm gonna watch the replay.
Well, we're glad to have you. All right, Rich, you have any closing statements too, or?
No, just keep at it. Perseverance. I know we had a couple guys, a couple new folks on. Just perseverance. I know you hear every day that Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't. Grand Canyon wasn't carved in a week. So keep at it. Persevere. Build your empire.
That's true. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step.
Right.
All right, so everybody watching on the live stream, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share, and don't forget, 2 weeks from today, we'll be right back on 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to sign up, you go to stlviplist.com, put your name and email address in there. You'll be notified of the live stream. You don't have to remember. You'll get the email automatically, stlviplist.com. Other than that, I guess we're going to wrap this thing up and see you in 2 weeks. So do what you do. Be who you be, and I'll see you all before you all see me.
Ooh, nice. See everybody. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Thanks, Chris.
No problem. All right, that's how we do it right here each and every other week. 6 p.m. Let me put my camera on for y'all. So don't forget, like I said, give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. If you learned something, if you're watching on the replay, leave a little smart alecky comment down below. Leave a little comment, let me know. And don't forget, we're going live this Monday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. This week, we're on with Antoine Campbell, how to wholesale real estate virtually in multiple markets. That's the 17th of August, Monday night. Make sure you're tuned in for that. The following week, we're on with Mr. David Dodge out of St. Louis, multiple rental holder. That's on the 24th of August. We're going to be on with him talking about the truth about rental property. We're going to be tuned in with him. The following week, rounding out the month of August, the 31st of August, we're on with Victor Antonio. Victor Antonio, you might have seen him on with Grant Cardone or some of the other major sales trainers across the nation. He's going to be talking about sales, the fundamentals of sales. A lot of people jump into the business and they overlook the basics. We're getting back to the basics and the real stuff. If you ever want to be notified of any of the upcoming streams on the Monday night, all you have to do is text JV to 31996. It'll get you the joint venture agreement that works with wholesalers, real estate agents, and other real estate investors. And the notification, you'll be notified of when we're going live. Just text JV to 31996. And don't forget to join the free Facebook group. It's called Woke Real Estate Investors on Facebook, talking about subject to, talking about lease options, talking about seller financing, and so much more. Join the Facebook group, Woke Real Estate Investors on Facebook. And if you're looking for contracts, cool gear, or coaching, the website is wokerealestate.com for that one-page contract, for the assignment agreement with all the proper verbiage and all the other documents to do any type of real estate transaction. That's at wokerealestate.com. All right, so I will catch y'all in a couple of days, and we're trying to go get paid. You ever want to work with me on a deal, make sure to shoot me an email. Some people say, oh, I couldn't find you, Chris. I didn't see you. I don't know where you at. Shoot me an email, Chris@wokerealestate.com. You got a deal under contract, working on a deal, want a JV deal, something in St. Louis. We're going to do this. chris@wokerealestate.com. That's the email address. And I think that's going to do it. Let's see what we got here. And another one. And another one. Get it, 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 get it. All right, Denji, we'll see you. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. Do what you do. Be who you be. And I'll see you before you see me.
And we have and we have and we have Mr. I Stay Woke, and Mr. I Stay.
Today's broadcast is being brought to you by WokeSkipTracing.com. Look up phone numbers and email addresses with ease, with pricing as low as only 15 cents per match, not per search, per match. If there's no number or email address, you don't pay. Get accurate data in just minutes. WokeSkipTracing.com. That's WokeSkipTracing.com.